Just Because Buzz, Thread Tales number 13. Thank you for joining me. I want to welcome all my subscribers. I know I have some new ones because of a shout out from Crafty Cottage Stitchers. Thank you, Heather and Jeanette. I really appreciate it. They're such a sweet mother and daughter team, and it's really fun to watch what they're up to. Heather's designing cross-stitch patterns, and Jeanette is always doing something fun, quilty and stitchy. Just a sweet, sweet mother-daughter team. So thank you so much for your shout out. I really appreciate it. And thank you for those that have come over from their channel. I'm glad that you have come. I hope you will enjoy being here. I hope that you will see some things that inspire you. I want to thank people that are returning subscribers. I want to thank some of my new subscribers. And if this is your first time, welcome. I hope you will stick around, get some tea or something warm to drink, and just sit back and enjoy. Maybe stitching too. I have a lot to share with you today. We're going to do our giveaway for the 200 and 300 subscribers. Now I'm over 300. It's really sweet, and it's because of shout outs, and I really appreciate that. I do want to share that there's some FlossTube ladies that I've been watching and have really enjoyed. The first one is Cheryl, and she is at Happy Handcraft Studio. She lives in Alberta, Canada, and has some really pretty projects that she works on, and also beautiful scenery photographs that she will add to her videos. So check Cheryl out. She's really fun to watch and very inspiring. A new stitchy friend would be Kim, the Contented Stitcher. Probably a lot of you are watching Kim, and she is just an inspiration. Has beautiful stitching, and I just really have enjoyed watching her. I'm not through all her videos and not completely caught up. In fact, she just dropped one yesterday. So anyway, I'm going to get caught up, Kim, and I'm going to continue to watch. I really have enjoyed you so much. Rachel at Rachel Q Stitches. She is a fellow Louisianan, and I'm excited to watch her as well. She has lots going on in her stitching corner and quilting corner, and it's just been fun to watch somebody from Louisiana and have some similar interests in a lot of different things, not just stitching. And then Jen Bowman is someone else I have been watching, and she has a really nice channel and does stitching and some quilting and also some knitting crochet. So check those girls out and tell them that you came over from my channel if you're not already watching them. You're probably watching a lot of them though. So thank you again for coming, and let's jump in. So you know I like to start off with old FFOs, and so I have a couple that I want to share with you. The first one is a little bookmark that I found when I was going through some boxes the other day. You all remember that I recently moved, so I'm still kind of going through some boxes. And this is a bookmark that I'm fairly certain my Granny Peavy made me. And it's on a little band bookmark, and it has my initials from when I was my maiden name, so Merritt Danae Peavy. And I used to collect shells. I still have my shell collection. It's packed away, but I'm sure this is why she stitched the shells on there for me, because I just loved collecting shells. I thought they were so beautiful, the sand dollars. And this is probably a 22 count, I'm not sure. It's tiny. I love that little seahorse. It's just so sweet. So that was fun to find. And then the other thing that I want to show you that's an FFO, this is actually a pattern called Flour Sugar Sewing Caddy, and it's by Pine Mountain, and Sandra Workman is the designer, and she lives out in Utah and has a shop out in Utah, and also she's the same one that designed the 25 boxes for Christmas, the free stitch along that we did before Christmas. Now it's a pattern for purchase, but she also designed this pattern. And a while back when I was living in Alabama, it's been several years now, I saw this pattern and the shop that I was teaching for said, well, you know, what would you like to teach? And I found this pattern, and we decided to do this as a class. And it was so much fun, and it's such an adorable pattern. It's an armchair sewing caddy, and it was just a blast to work on. And I guess one of the reasons I really liked it is because it had so many elements, not just quilting, but it had some embroidery in it. And so it was fun to do the quilting part, but also get to do some of the hand stitching that I enjoy so much. So my version is in some of my favorite colors. It's in aqua and the red. So the red polka dot. And I thought it would be appropriate to show today because of the little heart. And these are all pockets. So this is a pocket. This is a pocket. It is stitched right here, so these are 2 pockets. And then this is a big pocket. Not real deep, but you can stick some things there too. This is your pin cushion, and it's filled with crushed walnut shells. And it's loose, but because of it being in the crushed walnut shells, it sits heavy, so it sits still. And on the other side is more. So you have 2 more pockets, another pocket here, and this one's deep. It goes all the way down to the bottom. So this just sits over your armchair. And it's something that, because you do have some space up here, if your armchair, if this was too long, you could adjust it just a little bit and make it fit your armchair. Same on this side, you do have some room on either side, so if you needed to adjust it a little bit, you could. And with pockets, you could also adjust and make different changes with your pockets. I love the big rack too, it's really cute. But this was really fun to stitch, really fun to make and teach. The embroidery was fun to do. So just wanted to share that with you. Check out Sandra's patterns. I will link to her shop below, and maybe you could go check it out. She has some really fun patterns. She has another one that's kind of on my radar I've had for a while. This is called a Dresden project case, and how appropriate for us that like to stitch and take things along. So this might be a fun one to try. I haven't made it yet. I've been wanting to, but again, it's got some vinyl in it, which now I've done some vinyl bags, so I feel comfortable sewing with that. So might want to try this one day too. It's like a fun one. Okay, I have some new FFOs. So, you know, I've been trying to finish things, and goal is 5 by the time next time I do a video. I haven't quite made 5 as far as taking old FFOs and finishing. I do have 5 FFOs, but a couple of them are brand new, like they were start to finish when I last saw you. So anyway, we'll count them, I guess. First one is Be Kind, and this was a free pattern from Vanna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, and she had put out the little pattern, and then she did the tutorial recently for the scissor fob. So it was Be Kind scissor fob, and then she had us stitch that, told us how to stitch it, and then gave us the instructions on finishing the scissor fob. So there's the back of it with my initials, and then the front of it. And she taught you how to do putting your cording on. She has a separate tutorial for making cording, and then she taught you how to put the cording on and finish the little tassel. And you can check it out. It's all on YouTube. So that was fun to finish. Learned a lot. And then the next one is a wool applique project. This is a little candle mat that I designed and finally finished up. And so for Valentine's, got to do some pressing. I had pinned through here, and you can kind of see my pin marks. So I've got to see if I can get some of these pin marks out because they're pretty visible when you show them. But I just thought it was cute, a little pastel. It kind of reminds me of the conversation hearts. Might be cute to come back and put some words in here just to jazz it up a little bit. But basically use the blanket stitch around the hearts and the centerpiece, and then just did a little running stitch through the rickrack to secure it. And it's just a plain white back. I did cut the back with the hearts on the outside, so I had placement for my hearts. And one day I might get a pattern and get it printed and ready. If there's any interest, let me know. I don't know. This was just something fun I wanted to work on, but if anybody's interested, I can draw it up for you. Okay. And then another FFO that I used an old cross stitch project for. So this was a Precious Moments piece. I think I have shown it as a previous finish as far as cross stitch. It's been finished for years, probably finished in the late 80s, and just in my little stitchy box, and has traveled all over the place. And finally it has been made into a project bag. So this is my Precious Moments. It's this cute little girl singing. It was a Christmas Precious Moments. It says Noel, Noel on their little book, and that little dog, it's just howling. I just love the expression there. So I decided to stitch some squares around. Some of them are just kind of random size. That's mainly because of my calculation was a little bit off when I was trying to make this. But anyway, I persevered and we just went on. Did a little bit of rickrack up here with some buttons out of my button box. I put a zipper up here and the music fabric, and really didn't have a piece of fabric left over from this group that I used to finish it with lining or a backing or whatever. So the backing is kind of like an elongated log cabin block that I just made work, and used I used a fusible batting. I was just trying to use up scraps of batting and just used a fusible. So my seams are pretty thick because I had a great idea. I thought at the time, maybe not as good as an idea as I initially thought, but I did French seams to enclose the seams on the inside, but there was a lot of bulk, so the seams are pretty thick, but that's okay. This is just one for me. I'm kind of learning what works and what doesn't work. But I do have the little pink gingham on one side of the lining and the music on the other side. And it'll be great for a project bag. So I was excited to be able to use it. It'll be fun to put little Christmas projects in. A whole book will slide down in here if I had a book, or I could even put a little bag in there that has notions in it. It could be used for quilting project. I do like the back a lot. I thought the back was cute and mimics the fabrics that are on the front. But of course the star of the project bag is the cross stitch piece, and it's exciting to get it used in a unique way. All right, I'll lay that down. Let's see, put it over here. All right, I did have some finishes as far as cross stitch this month, and the first one is, let's see, my January sampler of the month, and this is from Country Cottage Needleworks, and so I finished January, and I have a plan for this. I think I talked about it before. I'm going to probably use one of two cookbook holders that I have. They're both white, and I thought it might be a great finish on that, and then I can just interchange out each month as I finish the month. So excited to have that one done. And then the next finish I had was kind of a finish and a start. My friend Louise wants to start this one too, and I'd love for her to be able to start it while it's still winter. So I stitched the Lizzie Kate Winter Wishes. And this is one of the little patterns that I got at that estate sale and found all these cute little patterns. And so I stitched mine on the 25 count Lugana and the Wedgwood. I've got a pretty good crease in here. I'm having a struggle to get out, so I'm going to have to really work on that. And then it has this cute little Lizzie Kate snowflake that I was actually, it didn't come on the chart. It was already used, but I was able to find a source on eBay that had the little Lizzie Kate snowflake charms, and very reasonable. So I got one for me and one for Louise, and that little snowflake charm goes right up here on the house. And then I think I'm going to finish it in this little white frame that I had just sitting around, just a little 5x7 frame. So I think I'll finish it in that. I was excited to finish that, and I'm going to get that shipped off to Louise so she can stitch it while it's still winter. I'm going to do that. Alright, and then whips. So I was going to show you some progress on Mighty Acorn. This has become my Sunday stitch, and I'm really enjoying stitching it on Sunday because I look forward to getting it back out and seeing how far I can get on it. Those of you that might not be familiar with what I'm talking about, this is the new Winds of Autumn book by Blackbird Designs, and the stitch that I'm working on is called Mighty Acorn. And this is my progress. So the last time that I showed this to you, I had worked basically up to this point, and so I've added all the words, and I've started working on the branch here that's above the house, and then a tree comes down here, and then I've put in the squirrel, this little star, and started on this sunflower. So there's a branch that comes down, or a stem that comes down for the sunflower. I'm really enjoying this stitch. Even though it's fall stitching, it was my New Year, New Start, and so it's been fun to stitch on. And stitching it on Sampler Sunday, so I'm enjoying that. And this is Picture This Plus Fog, the fabric that I'm using. It is a 36 count, I believe. I can confirm that. Let's see. Yes, this is a 36 count. And these are the threads. And I've shared with you before, I'm probably going to change that house color to this kind of gray-blue color, as it matches my house color that we have right now. And since we live amongst all these oak trees and squirrels, I thought that would be appropriate. And then Giving Thanks, I did work on my Giving Thanks. This is another Blackbird design. It's a table mat. And it's the best picture I have of it. And I am able to see it better when, like I said, when I work up here in my sewing room, I can see it better. I didn't get this ironed, but I'm working on the vine part kind of in the middle of the chart, and so I'm using one thread, and it seems to really be working for me. And I'm also using the hoop, so I think it's going to be really, really pretty, and I'm enjoying it finally, figuring out what works best. All right. Get a little drink. So Louise wanted to start a project, and of course I obliged. And there's a free chart put out by Lizzie Kate called Be Kind, Be Happy, and Be Well. I believe this might have been put out last year. I'm not positive about that. And we changed it up a little bit because I like bees, we added an extra E in there. And I'm going to put a bee scap up here instead of a little house that's charted. And then Louise did add some bees around hers, and it looks so cute. I'm still working on filling in this background here. All of this is going to be filled in with that same color. And I have the bee scapped and then the bees. So Louise has finished hers, and she's getting ready to FFO it. But this was a fun stitch to do with her, pretty quick. So I've just got to find me a little bee scap and get it finished. And I think I'm going to do a flat fold, practice on that. And I think that's how Louise is going to do hers too. She's going to do a flat fold. So that's been a fun stitch. And I've had it in my little bee project bag. So that's been fun. So. And then also working on February for my sampler of the month. This is the Country Cottage Needlework. So this is the February pattern. And I'm working on getting it stitched. So worked on the chocolate last night. Alright, so those are my whips. Like I said, I've been working on some project bags. So I worked on the Precious Moments project bag. Got that finished. But I also made 2 others. So the first one I made is this one. And I had this little charm. Actually, it's not a charm pack. It was the mini charms. And decided to try my hand at doing the patchwork. And had this little bee, I'm not sure what you call those. Anyway, for scooping out your honey out of your bee pots. And it's got a zipper across the top, so it's vinyl. And I quilted it, like I said. And so, got that one made. And then because I had the leftover little miniature charms, I didn't want to just have those around, so I just made another little bag that worked. And I happen to have some tiny scraps of one of the pieces that's in the little charm pack, so I was able to cut 2 more squares to be able to make one more. And so this is a little different size, but it works for small charts. So I was able to get 2 project bags out of one little mini charm pack, and I think there were 42 squares, and then I had to add the 2. So this one I did this one I did binding where I sewed it on, flipped it to the back, and did the hand stitching. This one I left when I quilted it, I left the backing big enough so that I could fold it over and do a self-binding from the top using a walking foot. And I like both methods. Either way, it's kind of neat. Once you sew this on, then you're done. On this one, once you sew it onto the front, you have to flip it to the back and hand sew it down, which I like it too. I think it's pretty either way. This one has a little bit different back. I love that little yellow print. So those were fun to make. Enjoyed that. And then I wanted to show you Tannenbaum. I was able to get the center of the quilt pieced together. So I have all the blocks done. So let me see if I can move out of the way a little bit and let you see. Well, let's move this way. Okay, so there's old Tannenbaum. And so all the houses are pieced in, paper pieced, and then all the blocks are put together. So now the outside strips have to be made, and there's a red that goes all the way around. And so I've got to do that. That's the next project that's the next part of Old Tannenbaum. But it was neat to get the center of it done and pieced, and it's coming together. And then Scott's quilt. I was able to finish it. So let's see if we can show it to you. I have it draped over my ironing board, hoping that will help me show you. So I got it all finished, and I just did a simple crosshatch. And I was able to present it to him last Saturday, and he loves it. So, thank you for your encouragement to get it going and finish it. And I have some things I want to sew on. I shared the one thing, the little project bag from Pine Mountain that I'm kind of interested in. But another thing that I want to do is I want to make another chenille rug. And I don't know if you've ever made one, but they're a lot of fun to make. And you can make them from the pre-printed panels. And I have one that I made in the fall. I don't know if I ever showed this to you all. This is a pre-printed panel, a fall panel. And it's 4 layers of them. And then it has a back, kind of a canvas back that I used. And then you bind it kind of like a quilt. Well, recently when I went to my local quilt shop looking for something else, I found these 4 panels that were on sale and decided to get them. And it would be perfect for Valentine's. So this might be just a fun project to do tomorrow. We'll see. But these are, I found 4 of these exact panels. And it's these, you may have seen these. This is not a brand new line or anything, but it's Llama Love. So what you do is you would lay out all 4 panels on top of each other and try to get them lined up as closely as possible. And then you follow the directions on how to sew right down the middle at a 45-degree angle, and then at 1/2-inch intervals you sew more all the way across. And that's how you get this chenille, is by sewing those 1/2-inch intervals. And then you go back with a chenille cutter and you cut the top 3 layers. You leave the 4th layer uncut, cut the top 3 layers, and then you get this wonderful texture. And it's just a lot of fun to make. So I want to do that with the llamas and have it as a Valentine little rug. And my binding is going to be this cute little fabric, little stripe. So I have all my instructions laid out and my panels, so that's something that I'm kind of wanting to try and get back out. Haul, I did have a little bit of haul. The first thing, I haven't gone anywhere very much lately because we've had quite a bit of snow. We've had about 8 to 10 inches and everything's clear. The roads are clear. I went to get groceries this morning and no problems, but just kind of stayed in. So I don't have a lot of haul. So I had the little snowflakes that I showed you from Lizzie Kate. Those came. So I got 2 of those to go with our project. Pot of gold, the rainbow, cute little house. So need to finish up my February one so I can get started on March. Maybe I can get caught up and get ahead of things. And then it does come with the fabric. I get it with the fabric. And it's a beautiful beige 32 count. So I'm really enjoying that. It's been a lot of fun to stitch on. So that was a haul. And then I had a Stitchy Kindness. And a friend of mine in Alabama is also trying to finish up Old Tannenbaum. And she needed one of the patterns and I sent it to her. And she sent it back to me, but with a surprise. And it was so kind of her. And she recently taught this table runner class at our Guild in Enterprise. And Louise took the class and she made her table runner. But then Karen, she's the one that taught the class, and she made this table runner for me and sent it back. And it is just right up my alley with these beautiful bee fabrics. Just love it. And then look at the back. The back is just gorgeous. I love that. So this was such a sweet, sweet kindness. I just was so excited to get this and be able to use it. I do decorate with bees in the summertime, and so this is going to be a special thing to get out and treasure always. So thank you, sweet Karen. Well, I want to talk about our giveaways. I had some comments, and I was able to use the YouTube random comment generator, and I'll insert the names of the winners here, but I'm also going to share them verbally too and show you. The first one was Rose, called Love Letters by Kesslins Designed, and the winner is Charge, CHARJ 57. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly or not, but thank you so much for commenting, and you're the winner. I just need you to send me your address. I will link my email below so you can send that to me and I can get this mailed out to you. And then the spring chart by Pickle Barrel Designs was won by S. Vance. So again, if you can email me your address and I'll put it in the mail to you, and you can get stitching on this cute little pattern by Pickle Barrel. Well, come to the portion of my video where I like to share a recipe. This is kind of a new thing for me this year. And so thinking ahead of what's coming up next week is Mardi Gras, and I'm from Louisiana. I've shared that before, and Mardi Gras, you think of king cake. And so there's king cakes you can get from the store, or you can make it yourself, or you can do what I'm going to share with you. It's just something a little bit less complicated, but equally as delicious. And I'm going to link the recipe below like I did with the others, but I thought I would at least show you a picture of what it looks like. So they're called king cake bites, and so you use crescent rolls and cream cheese, sugar, good stuff, and you make these king cake bites. And so if you wanted to do this for your family for Fat Tuesday, they're great for a breakfast treat, or you could do it for dessert after a meal. So like I said, I'll link this below. This is from a website blog called Plain Chicken. Stephanie is the designer, or the author, and like I said, I'll link it below. But to go along with your king cake, I enjoy community coffee, so I have to show you what I'm all into, kind of like the kitten stitcher. So lately it's been community coffee flavors. We've had community coffee since I was a little girl, so I've been drinking it for a long time, and I can get it shipped here. So, and lately the favorite for especially my daughter and I has been the king cake, and it's Mardi Gras king cake. So if you really like king cake, you can even get it in coffee flavor, and it is really delicious. And I assume that it's become so popular they're now making it in a huge bag. So anyway, my last order got the Mardi Gras king cake coffee, community coffee. It's really good. Try it. All right, I'm going to end with my encouraging word. And lately, I've been reading through the Bible, kind of at the beginning of the year. A lot of times you're encouraged to try reading through the Bible, and I've never made it all the way through. So I'm really determined to do it this year. And this week, I've been in Exodus. And it's in the part, Exodus 25 through 31, has been the part where I've been reading. And that part is God's instruction to Moses about how he wants the tabernacle constructed, how he wants the furniture built in the tabernacle, how he wants the curtains made for the tabernacle, because it was a tent that they moved around. They had to take it down, put it up, take it down, put it up. So he had a way for them to construct it so that it could easily be moved. And he also had instructions for when he wanted the garments made for the priests. And as I was reading that this morning, I just could not help but think of all the creativity and just the thought and specifics of what God told them to do, told Moses to do, and then he would tell the craftsmen and how exactly he wanted everything done. And I just really thought that was just so neat and so appropriate for us as stitchers, as quilters, wool applique, knitting, crochet. We love doing things with our hands. And there's several scriptures out there that talk about the finger of God. And it's just so neat that he gave us the desire to create and be creative as well. And I just thought it was really neat. Some of the words in the scriptures of these chapters that I found were linen, when it was talking about the priest's clothing, linen, fine twisted cordage work, fine twisted linen. He used stones, he used etching, there was gold overlay, there was woodwork, all of these things that he specifically told Moses, and then Moses had to relay it to the craftsmen of how to make these things. Can you imagine stitching back then? What kind of needles they must have had, how that worked, and it was just fascinating to even think about. So I just think it's neat that God is in the details, no matter how big or how small, no matter what you're going through, he's in the details, and he cares. So I just want to encourage you with that. And in Psalm 8, I don't know if you've read this or if you've ever been in a choir that has ever sung the song, The Majesty and Glory of Your Name, which is based on Psalms 8. And the arrangement by Fettke, I think I'm saying that correctly. Anyway, I'm going to link a choir below that you can go and listen to this song. It is phenomenal, and it is Psalms 8 put to music, and it's just a beautiful song. And I used to sing it in choir when we were living down in Florida, First Baptist Church, Merritt Island. We sang this song quite a bit, and it was just such a worship experience. But I wanted to read a little bit out of Psalms 8, and starting in verse 3, it says, "When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars, which thou hast ordained. What is man that thou dost take thought of him, and the son of man that thou dost care for him? Yet thou hast made him a little lower than God, and dost crown him with the glory and majesty. Thou dost make him rule over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet." I just thought this was just a perfect scripture for knowing that God is in the details. And he loves us and cares for us. And I am so thankful for you. I'm thankful that we get to be friends through, even if it's a video. I love your comments. I would encourage you to comment, and I'll try to respond. I try to respond to everybody. I love reading them. I love being an encouragement, and that's what I want to be. And so, all to God's glory. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll like and subscribe. I hope you'll tell others about my channel if you think it's something that they would enjoy. And I'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Take care, happy stitching, and sew just because.